I think you might have to kill this stream and go live again.
Yes, I see. Okay, so
Not
if I
sure.
update, so if I copy that in there and I press OK and change nothing else in the dashboard.
Oh, I already did.
You did. Wonderful. Okay. Then I will check my YouTube, also called the dashboard.
Oh, it's no longer working on my side.
And YouTube says it has an excellent connection.
I just
Welcome,
live
ladies and gentlemen, to the WAN Show. We have got a fantastic show lined up for you today. There's been all kinds of great news. Some of it's bad news, but that's great. Apple is going to be supplying independent repair shops with parts, but it's not as cut and dried as you might think. Linus has a back button on the right-hand side of his mouse that he forgets about all the time and accidentally closed the dock, but that's okay. He found the forward button that he normally presses with his thumb on the left-hand side and got right back in there. What was the other?
10 out of 10 time buying.
Breaking news, the RTX 3090 has been pictured. Triple slot cooler. I know Luke loves that CPU, and wait, this is GPU news for a change. Hey!
Hooray!
How excited are you right now, Luke?
Genuinely a little bit more exciting.
Fantastic. What else we got going on here today?
There's the Facebookening of Oculus. I believe.
How triggered are you? Please. Out of 10.
Quite.
Give me an out of 10. I need to have it.
I think a lot less triggered now because I don't personally own one. But if I did, it would definitely be a 10 because I don't. Let's give it a 9.9. I think if I remember correctly, and I should have looked this up, but one of the things that was specifically said, if I remember correctly, way back, maybe I shouldn't dive into this right now. No, you're gonna have to wait. We'll talk about that later. But
fantastic.
Yeah, it's dumb, and we'll discuss it in more detail later on. Also, the Xbox Series X architecture deep dive was done by Hot Chips 2020, and that's going to be exciting.
Oh, right, and of course our headline topic: can it run Microsoft Flight Sim 2020? That could be the new meme. This thing is absolutely melting the processors of machines that are trying to run it. So we'll talk through what kind of performance you can expect in Microsoft's latest I wanted to be a pilot, but I didn't quite make it. Or maybe I am a pilot, but I just like piloting more in my off time because I love to practice simulator. I mean, that's important. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Ba-dum. Ooh, I might have screwed something up for one of our sponsors. I was supposed to have a video to play, and I don't have it, and I can't get it because of that thing that I disable before the show. So our sponsors are Private Internet Access, Pulseway, and Kernel Care. Wow, Kernel Care's back. All right. Good news. I still have that video from last time. Okay, fantastic. Hopefully they haven't changed it. So why don't we jump right into our headline topic for the day? Can it run Microsoft Flight Sim 2020? Microsoft released their new flight simulator on August 18th after how long of a hiatus was this? 10 years? When's the last time?
Very, very long time.
2008? Flight Sim 2000, there was 2006, 20 to flight, wait.
It was X, wasn't it? Microsoft Flight Simulator X? That came out in 2006.
2006, holy crap. So they were out of the flight sim game for nearly 15 years, and no one else has come in to take over the reins here. So Microsoft is back. The developers, Asobo Studio, have integrated some really cool features into the game. Like, it's freaking groundbreaking. It is so cool from a technological standpoint. They've got a 1-to-1 scale Earth in the game using map data from Bing's map service. Yes, my friends, you can download Bing Maps to your computer pretty much, and you have to, because when you buy it on Steam, you just get like a launcher from Steam. I have to assume that Valve was just like, no, when Microsoft asked them if they could distribute 150 gigabytes of game data per user. I mean, that's Valve really earning their 30% cut right there, especially when this thing's on sale. Like, if Microsoft wanted to put Valve out of business, like really put the hurt on them, they could just drop Flight Sim to like...
It's only $1.
Yeah, make it a 99-cent game. They'll be like... So you actually have to download the rest of the 150 gigabytes of data through the launcher. There's lots of reports that the launcher is buggy and crashes a lot. Hopefully that's maybe because it's the 737 MAX launcher.
Oh.
That's not really funny.
Just for a quick clarification, 2006 was the release of Flight Simulator X. 2014 was the release of Flight Simulator X Steam Edition. So that doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's been since 2006, 14 years.
Crazy. Real-time weather data, this is amazing. Can be toggled on at any time, anywhere in the world. Like what? That is so cool. You can be flying around in the world, effectively. That is mind-blowing. Oh, you're muted, Luke. You're muted. You're out. You're done.
Oops. Sorry. That's really interesting because you could go to natural disasters effectively, I guess. I wonder how they handle that. There's 2 hurricanes coming into... Oh, geez. What is it? I'm probably going to say the wrong thing.
So, like,
I think it's Gulf of Mexico or something.
Can you fly
like
in a hurricane?
So could you fly to that?
I don't know. I mean, I assume they would have like the wind speed at the various like stations and satellite data to show like what it's doing and stuff. I mean, I have no idea how sophisticated it is. Like it might just be like the feed from AccuWeather or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's raining right now, but it might not know how heavy it is. I don't know, but it's either way, it's freaking cool. And with how much work they've put into it now and how long of a lifetime you might expect from a flight simulator game, I would not be surprised to see this have like a very long lifetime on it and for them to continue to add features. There are 37,000 airports around the world that you can take off from and land at. There are 25 to 35 planes, depending on which version you purchase. And Nicholas is actually posting in the doc right now. It also has AI-controlled real-time planes shut up based on real-world flights that are just like
That's super cool.
Also going to be in the sky.
That's actually
shut
really cool.
up. That is so cool. I actually did not know about that last one. It's doing this really cool 3D mapping thing so that you can actually like fly, like you can do a flyby of a city. Like, I mean, I guess if you're a good enough pilot, you could probably fly right down to the street and the buildings will actually be one-to-one representations of what they're supposed to look like. I don't think that's in every city right now. Don't quote me on that. But definitely some. And the recommended specs. Luke, hit me with them recommended specs, please, sir.
Windows 10, DirectX 11, DirectX 12 is going to be added later. Wow, super, super scary. Intel i5 8400 or an AMD Ryzen 5 1500X, 16 gigs of RAM, an NVIDIA GTX 970 or Radeon RX 590, 150 gigs of disk space, and I'm getting some somewhat mixed information here, but I think that's a minimum, not a total.
Yeah.
Because as you potentially like fly around, you might need to like stream download some of the like extra map data and stuff.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't be riding like right at the limit of your storage drive.
Yeah. And it doesn't use the Steam downloader as we talked about for the 150 gigabytes. So you'll be getting that through the client. But they used apparently 2 petabytes of map data to stitch the world together. I don't know what that's going to translate into in terms of what you need to download in order to fly around. But yeah, 150 gigs, it's a minimum.
But they do say that you need a 20 megabit per second connection. So presumably that's for the data streaming. Now, I was making a bunch of faces there because that doesn't actually sound that bad. That sounds pretty reasonable for a modern AAA title, except for one small problem. The game looks amazing, but in spite of the pretty pedestrian minimum specs, at least if you're like a hardcore gamer, in order to really turn it up, you are going to put your poor graphics card in particular into fan speed overdrive here, because a 2080 Ti on ultra settings at just 1080p gets around 50 FPS. You want to turn that up to 4K, ladies and gentlemen? And remember, you very well might. This is flight sim. Never mind 4K, you're going to want a cockpit. Okay? So you want to turn this up to 4K on a single display? You're going to be looking at about 350. 35 FPS. Ouch.
So brutal.
So this is, you can head over to Guru 3D. They've got a full breakdown of what kind of frame rates you can expect across various graphics cards, all the way from an R9 Fury all the way up to an RTX 2080 Ti. And basically at 1080p, remember this is ultra details. You don't have to run on ultra details, but with something like a sim, it sure doesn't hurt, because having maximum view distance and really high quality drawing of faraway objects really increases the immersiveness. If you want 30 FPS at 1080p, you are running a GTX 1070 or better. Holy crap. Unreal. Within the last...
I would suspect that probably like a 1060, that's a pretty solid card.
Well, yeah.
Especially for 1080p gaming, like most things you're going to do, that's quite a solid card. That's only 25 FPS
at 1080.
on Ultra.
At 1080.
Insane.
We're talking yesterday's resolution today. Like 1070. That like to wrap our brains around that. Like I'm thinking about it in terms of like when I got into PC gaming here, right? Like a 1070 means within the last 4 years, I would need to have bought a top tier gaming card, like an enthusiast tier, not just like, hey, I want to play some video games, like an expensive graphics card. I'm going on ebay.com. I'm going on ebay.com right now, Luke. I'm going shopping.
And you're moving past the like, yeah, okay, I want to play like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or
exactly
whatever other like the common internet competitive games, Fortnite, whatnot. You're moving past that. You're getting into more serious stuff. You're starting to care a lot about fidelity instead of just like, can I play the game at decent FPS?
Exactly. And as an alternate path, okay, so let's say I didn't buy a $400 graphics card 4 years ago. Let's say I was shopping today. I am still the kind of customer who is spending $200 on a second-hand graphics card. So even if I'm a value shopper, I'm still the kind of person spending $200 on a video card. And like, think back to yourself when you were young. $200 on a graphics card, like that's a lot of lunch money. That's not trivial.
Yeah.
Freaking crazy. Of course, you do not have to turn it up to ultra. But this is one heavy game. I'm stoked to try it out. Guess what we just got? Jake pushed for it. We got a motion sim chair that like moves you around.
No way.
Yeah, I tried it out. I'd never tried like a good one. Like, well, I'd tried them at like trade shows and stuff, but never like in the comfort of my own home, like or studio, I guess, as it were, just like trying it and actually able to sit there and enjoy myself and have fun. And like playing Assetto Corsa on it, I was like, I realized as I was filming, like I was talking to the camera, but I just realized I had this stupid grin on my face because it's just pure fun. Just pure fun. It's like, have you ever gone horseback riding? You ever horseback
Not
ride?
for a really long time, but yes.
Okay. Have you ever gone fast on the back of a horse?
No.
Like galloped or cantered?
No,
Okay.
not really.
It's involuntary. As soon as you get past trotting speed, when it's basically just like your boys being mashed against the inside of your thigh in a hard leather saddle, once you get past that speed, it's involuntary. I guarantee you, if someone took a picture of you, you wouldn't even realize you're doing it, but you'd have a big dumb grin on your face because it is so much fun. It wasn't as fun as horseback riding, but it was definitely fun. And I'm stoked to play around with it some more. The real story here is that I knew that Jake would work really hard to get his hands on one if I made him a deal where he could acquire it after the fact for super cheap. So I made him an offer. Within like 4 days, he had found one of those companies to send us one. And so I don't even get to have it we can't even put it in the lounge because I made a deal for us to not have it anymore, unfortunately. So make sure you come in and try it before Jake takes off with it, the freaking guy. What do you want to do next? We have actually so many great topics today. Like oversupply.
one thing I'll bring up while we're on the two things, I guess, that I'll bring up while we're still on the Microsoft Flight Sim topic is one, there was some people pointing out that because the launcher has to do this very large download after you buy the game, and the download through Steam is very small because you're just downloading the launcher. Technically, you are playing the game when you load the launcher to download it. So if you want to get a refund, that counts against your 2 hours of playing.
That's pretty rough.
Valve seems to have responded and been like, yeah, no, that's not how that should work. This will be fine. Apparently they have some way of detecting if you're actually actively playing the game, not just the launcher. Okay. Some people seem to have got caught up by this, but you should be able to contact them again and probably get a refund. They are trying to be accommodating about it, and they're working with Microsoft to try to get the download speed to be a little bit faster, because especially people with bad internet connections that don't realize how big the game is, it's like they're getting to a point where they're like, I'm just never going to be able to play it, so I just want my money back. And that has been a little bit of an issue. So if you had a problem with that, reach out, and hopefully it won't be a problem moving forward. The other thing is, if you're a kid, like we mentioned, and $200 for a graphics card is, I mean, $200 for a graphics card for anyone is, that's,
you're
in
the enthusiast tier at that point.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
You're
for sure.
Not casual.
But especially if you're a kid, I'm specifically talking to you. This is a dad game. Talk to your dad. Get a computer upgrade. Talk to your mom. Maybe she's into flight stuff. I don't know. But it's like, it's a very
learning opportunity.
It is a very parent-friendly game. Not only will they very likely want to play it, that's cool, but it also doesn't have shooting and gore and all that kind of fun stuff. You know, maybe you want to be a pilot one day. You can get a computer upgrade. And then I don't even care if you play Flight Sim. You got a computer upgrade. Fantastic.
Like, here's the thing. You guys gotta, well, we don't want to convince you guys to like scam your parents. You should only get it if you're going to actually play it. But Flight Sim is
I would play it anyways because it's cool.
Not a game. Like, it's a game, but if you wanted to know legitimately a lot about how to fly a plane, you spend a whole bunch of time in Flight Sim, there is actually a solid chance that if you're actually good at Flight Sim 2020, that if there was an emergency and you had to like operate an aircraft, you could maybe do it. You'd definitely be better equipped than someone who's look, am I wrong?
No, I don't necessarily think so.
Like, that's the thing. It's designed to be really realistic. So would it be ideal?
It's super cool. Even if you don't feel like you're crazy into it, it's a pretty cool experience. I'm not going to say you should necessarily buy it if you're like, yeah, I'm not interested at all, but it is pretty cool. Flight sims are fun. They're not like my major cup of tea, but they're definitely fun.
Yeah. All right. Wow, man, there's so much good stuff here. I don't even know what to talk about. Do you want to do the Facebookening of Oculus?
Sure. Okay. So Oculus will soon...
Sorry, I'll use a different word. Should we talk about the Facebookening of Oculus?
Yes, I think so. I think it's a good thing to spread the word. Oculus will soon require all of its virtual reality headset users to sign up with a Facebook account. They've been pushing the Facebook stuff a little bit further and a little bit further for a long time, and this seems like the ultimate step over the line. Oculus says it will start removing support for separate Oculus accounts in October of 2020. So not only are they not grandfathering necessarily, they are fully removing it. If you are an existing Oculus user and choose not to merge your accounts, you can continue using your Oculus account for 2 years, and then that's it. The mandated switch from Oculus ID to Facebook accounts will begin in January 1st, 2023, and older devices will still function in an offline capacity. So that, I mean, at least that's, they didn't screw you over in that tiny small sector.
In
so that's
offline
cool.
Capacity? Like, okay, sure.
Gone are the days of making a private, unidentifiable username. Pretending to be anyone isn't allowed, which is Facebook's real name policy.
That's a quote. Pretending to be anyone isn't allowed.
Yeah, it's because it's attached to Facebook, you now have Facebook's rules somewhat applied to your Oculus stuff, because you have to have a Facebook account, and there are certain rules that go along with that. So that's automatically being carried over. So that is a bit of an issue. The new changes apparently consolidate Facebook's management of its platforms. A new privacy policy will be administered by Facebook itself, not the separate Facebook Technologies hardware subsidiary.
This one that's coming, this is brutal.
Yeah. Facebook also locked in headset voice comms behind a Facebook account. You can't use an Oculus account for social functions anymore. Uh, this is a little bit of a side. No console or connected gaming service has ever required its users' social network or even its wholly owned email products to function, with the exception of Google Stadia, which launched with the requirement of a Google account. Yeah, this is super rough, and the device did not launch with it either, which is pretty important. One
Yeah.
could argue that this almost completely eliminates Oculus as an option for enterprise VR. Yeah, the only VR segment that's still consistently growing. VR has done very well during the pandemic.
Yeah.
In general, just VR across the board has done very, very well. And satisfaction with their VR purchases, I think, has also been much stronger during the pandemic. People are stuck inside. They're going to spend more time working with the device, making sure that they get it going because they're stuck inside anyways, so they might
Yeah.
as well. So I think that has directly led to that. I think VR has been really, really strong as of late, which is great. And this doesn't help it. So while it is worse, I would or it is not worse. It is more expensive. I would strongly recommend an Index because they're great, and you don't need a Facebook account.
Or
And all your social interactions and your voice chat isn't piped with your Facebook account.
look, Vive Pro still exists. I've never actually reviewed one of their products, but I've heard from happy users. Pimax also still exists.
There are other options out there.
Yep.
It's time to get off the ship.
Time to explore them. This is really, really unfortunate. I mean, the idea, because for a lot of people, VR is not about gaming at all. Like, it's about applications like VR chat consistently. When I fire up my headset and I look at the Steam, whatever that interface is called, where you're like standing in the big fancy living room, you know what I'm talking about, Luke, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's that called? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
The point is, it shows you the top current applications for VR. It's like always VR chat. Like always VR chat.
And that will completely change for people with forced connected. I mean, people are just going to make fake accounts. But
Yeah.
it is technically against Facebook's terms of service. So then you're like risking your, I was going to say your Oculus account, but that's not even what
Right.
it is anymore.
Yeah, just your, I don't, what are they going to do, right? Are they going to brick your headset? Like, I don't know. I don't think they've ever really
No idea.
done anything like that, but I just, oh man. And you know what? The crazy thing is, you and I are all doom and gloom about this, but it's probably not going to matter. The vast majority of the people who buy one of these are probably just going to be like, just like the T's and C's that you go through when you buy a new washing machine or whatever, a new printer. You know when you buy a printer, right? Like, you go through your initial setup. It's like, do you accept the end user license agreement? I don't read that. I'm not gonna, like, who cares? Like, I think most people, like most consumers, would see a device like this as about as likely to contain a horrendous privacy policy as a printer. And in fact, they might not even necessarily realize that Oculus by Facebook is like, no, really, like that Facebook. Like, watch out.
Yeah.
It's got a microphone on it. It's got like your movements. They'll know how tall you are. Isn't that great data for Facebook to have? All of a sudden, they can start advertising clothing to you that's like your size.
They already do a lot of clothing advertisement. I'm having a hard time finding the exact quote that I'm hoping to find. But I did find this quote back from when Facebook bought Oculus. Oculus already has big plans here, so that won't be changing, and we hope to accelerate them, wrote Zuckerberg, outlining plans to keep Oculus as an independent entity under the Facebook umbrella.
There's probably a WAN show
not so much
from that time where you and I were like, doubt it.
Yeah.
There's no way we didn't say doubt it.
I really want to find this because I feel like it was. Oh, is this it? I think I just found it.
This is brutal.
There's a post on Road to VR. Here's where Facebook guaranteed users would never need a Facebook account to use Oculus headsets. I've been thinking this whole time that there was a quote where they said you would never need a Facebook account to use a Oculus product. But like I can't say the quote because I don't exactly remember it and I don't have a reference. But I'm hoping Road to VR will have this. I'm gonna send you this article if you want to do screen stuff.
Brutal, sure.
I'm trying to find the quote in here though.
You know what? While you're doing that, actually, why don't I jump in and do our sponsors for the show?
Sure.
Is that cool? Okay.
Yeah.
The show is brought to you today by Private Internet Access. What's in your online security? Oh, that's not it. Oops, that's not it. Oh, okay, that's not it either. One moment, please. There we go. The show is brought to you today by Private Internet Access. What's in your online security toolkit? Adding a VPN lets you mask your IP and encrypt traffic to and from your devices. Private Internet Access has reliable service with over 3,000 servers in dozens of countries, and they now feature WireGuard. They've got no bandwidth caps, configurable encryption, and an internet kill switch that keeps you in control of your connection. Try it out risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee, and once you've got a paid account, you can connect up to 10 devices at once with their clients for Windows, macOS, Android, iOS, and Linux. That's enough for like your entire family to have your PCs and your phones all PIA'd up all the time. So check it out at lmg.gg/PIA WAN. The show is also brought to you today by Pulseway. Oh no, do I have a Pulseway lower third? Oh no, I don't. Oh, that's a shame. I didn't download it before the show. So rip Pulseway. Sorry, Pulseway. Colton will make it up to you. I'm not sure how, but he'll find a way. You hear that, Colton? Pulseway Patch is an all-in-one patch management software that allows you to secure your endpoints by managing OS and third-party patching from anywhere. It scans your IT environment for outdated software and automatically installs patches based on policies that you define. You can install patches on all systems in your IT network remotely through the Pulseway mobile app, and this helps you prevent vulnerabilities by keeping your software up to date. Secure your system, protect your data, and ensure a hassle-free experience for your users with Pulseway Patch. Click out the link in the video description to learn more. The show is also brought to you, finally, by Kernel Care. Let's see if this works. Hey, look at it go! In November this year, CentOS 6 will go end of life, which means no more bug fixes, updates, or security patches. Without continued security updates, the server is increasingly susceptible to newly discovered vulnerabilities and associated attacks. It's challenging for organizations to migrate to the newest versions of CentOS, but at the same time, they can't live without ongoing support either. Well, now you can make those problems disappear. CentOS 6 Extended Lifecycle Support, or ELS, from Cloud Linux allows you to continue working with CentOS 6 beyond the end of life. All your fixes, patches, etc. will continue to flow just like today, only from Cloud Linux repos. For a limited time, you can get a specially discounted bundle with Kernel Care live patching and extended lifecycle support for CentOS 6 together with a 30% discount on CentOS 6 extended lifecycle support and 15% discount on Kernel Care. Kernel Care is a live patching system that automatically applies security patches to Linux kernels and shared libraries with no reboots. It's used on over 500,000 servers and has been used to patch servers running for 6+ years for companies like Dell, Zoom, and LiquidWeb. It works with all major Linux distros and interoperates flawlessly with common vulnerability scanners, configuration management tools, and patch management solutions. Learn more about the bundle and sign up for a quote at the link below. Dun, 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 dun.
You
All
beat
right,
me.
Luke, did you find it?
I made a little.
Both. Thanks, Luke.
But you were already on the next one by the time I got here.
I know you got my back, bro.
I tried. So yeah, I found it before I ran away. Not only did I find the original quote, which is from 6 years ago on Reddit, Palmer Luckey, at the time was an employee, not anymore. He said, "I guarantee that you won't need to log into your Facebook account every time you want to use the Oculus Rift." This was on a post called "The Future of VR." I didn't read it, but I'm assuming they complained about the fact that Facebook was buying them, and it got downvoted into oblivion. Now, there's been an update from Palmer Luckey because he made a quote. He made that quote, right? So people called him a liar now that it is happening. And he responded by directly saying, "I am already getting heat from users and media outlets who say this policy change proves I was lying when I consistently said this wouldn't happen." And this wasn't like, I'm fairly certain that Reddit quote was not the only time he said that. Because like I probably saw that Reddit quote back in the day, but this was like ingrained in my mind. I remember this was a very important thing during the acquisition, and I'm sure it was said other places as well. So he said, I was lying when people were saying I was lying when I consistently said this wouldn't happen, or at least that it was a guarantee I wasn't in a position to make. I want to make clear that those promises were approved by Facebook in that moment and on an ongoing basis. And I really believed it would continue to be a case for a variety of reasons.
Is in hindsight,
he's going to address that. In hindsight, the downvotes from people with more real world experience than me were definitely justified. So he's kind of accepting that point now. A few examples below so people won't make up their own version of what I actually said. He said, I guarantee that you won't need to log into your Facebook account every time you want to use an Oculus Rift. He said you will not need a Facebook account to use or develop for the Rift. He said, nope, that would be lame. And he said, I promise. And he's putting on record that, yes, he did say all those things and they were approved by Facebook at the time. So yes, they have absolutely gone back on a major previous promise that people bought products based on, I guarantee it. And I personally think that's a major issue and could even potentially come down to a legal issue.
They might even just be pricing in a class action lawsuit here.
Maybe.
Like, I mean, realistically, if I'm Facebook, I'm looking at it going, well, I don't know, whatever. How many Rifts did we sell? Okay, whatever. Right? Like, okay,
especially when compared to the future of where VR is like basically inevitably going to end up, where they're going to sell way more Rifts, and they want to have the Facebook account shoved down your throat.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is one of those things where I'm surprised it took this long for them to make that bet, because the sooner they reverse their course, the better off they'd be. If you think about it. Less cost for fewer Oculus devices out there, and more data. So yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. Good job, Zuck. Love you, dude. Love you, dude.
That's
Good guy. Speaking of disappointing, I'm disappointed that I haven't had a chance to tell you about our latest shirt design over on lttstore.com yet. This may be our coolest shirt yet. Have you actually seen this one yet?
No, I haven't. I saw like the text description, but I haven't seen it. That's pretty cool.
Okay, hold on, but you got to look closelier. So lttstore.com, we're calling this the Stealth Logo CPU t-shirt. Okay, it's not the best name ever, but whatever. Check it out. So it's it's CPU pins. Okay, so you can see you got like your, which hand is which? There we go. You got like your little triangle indicator there, and it's like a CPU from the bottom. So you got all your pins. It's got like a little bit of sheen to it. So it's actually like a shiny black printing on a black shirt. So it's like very stealthy. But you can see in the pictures on the store, here, let me throw up my display capture here. Yep. You can see in the pictures on the store, there's an LTT logo in there.
Is that the solid dots?
So
and the hollow dots are not the LTT logo?
Yes. So what's kind of crazy about it is that in order to see the logo in person, like you can see, I'm standing too close to you. In order to see the logo properly in person, you have to be about 2 to 3 meters away. There you go.
Yeah, like on the pictures on the store, I don't really see it on almost anyone except for you. There's a few people where you can see it a bit, but yours are much more clear.
The farther away you go, the more you can see it. So what's really funny is, this wasn't the intent, obviously, but I was talking to Sarah about it. She designed this one. She's like, yeah, it's kind of like the social distancing shirt. If you can read the logo, you're far enough away, right? Like if you can't see it, you're too close. Get out of here. Yeah. So super cool design. Also, like, can we just take a moment to appreciate how good our staff looks when they like model stuff, even though these are like not professional models by any stretch of the imagination? I love it. It's so nice that everyone just like contributes, because this is not something we actually require our staff to do. This is just, I think all you get, obviously you're getting paid because you're like on shift. But you're not getting paid any extra for like being a model for lttstore.com. So all you get is, I think you get the shirt that you wear, or like the underwear that you wear, or whatever the case may be. Like it's just really out of generosity and actually loving the products and wanting to use them. So it's pretty cool.
Be real interesting if they didn't get to keep the underwear that they wore.
Everybody kept the underwear they modeled.
One extra thing that I want to jump back on with the Oculus topic is another promise that was made. I'm going to assume at the time it was approved by Facebook, but I don't have direct comment about that. But he made a quote, says, "We are not going to track you, flash ads at you, or do anything else invasive."
Was this Palmer again?
That was Mr. Palmer. So
well, Mr. Lucky.
Facebook has already confirmed to be tracking your activity, tracking the activity of Oculus users, to inform them of advertising that is shown to those users outside of the headset. So that's already happening.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's nice. Why don't we talk about Apple supplying parts to independent repair shops? What do you think? This was posted by Pickles, Lord of the Jar, on the forum. Thanks, Riley, for popping this in here. He has had one heck of a busy week, and it's really appreciate him sort of pitching in and making sure he's helping out the rest of the team. Thank you, Riley. Apple announced it's expanding its independent repair provider program to include Mac computers. So it launched last year, but only included iPhone repairs. This move will see Apple provide independent repair shops with Apple-certified genuine parts, tools, and even training concerning the repair of out-of-warranty Macs. But the one and only Louis Rossmann pointed out a bunch of problems, including onerous conditions before shops can get parts and support. So these may lead repair shops to having to wait 1 to 2 weeks to get parts after a customer's repair request comes in, which, if you've ever worked in the customer service industry, you might know that telling someone it'll be about 1 to 2 weeks before I even look at your job is a great way to get them to walk right out the door and go to somebody else. Shops can't stock certain common parts like batteries ahead of time because heaven forbid you be able to provide good customer service to Apple's customers. You know, I've got a whole rant that I want to do that's like sort of related to this after this. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that after. The list of parts included in the program is also restrictive, so you can't get certain parts from Apple. So Rossmann believes the program is an attempt by Apple to convince regulators it's not actually a monopoly, that everything is fine, and just move along, nothing to see here. In case you want to transition into talking about Apple and Epic here. Oh man, Apple and Epic, this is great. So Digital Content Next, so a trade organization representing Washington Post, New York Times, dozens of others, asked Apple to change the 30% cut. So this is an article over on CNET. Apple filed a declaration basically saying the whole thing is Epic's fault. They could have just stayed in line. Lol. And Apple reveals emails showing Tim Sweeney asking Tim Cook for special treatment, kind of like the 15% cut that Apple takes from Prime Video before this all went down, adding evidence to the claim that Epic had planned all of this ahead of time.
That's not even a claim. That's like,
I mean, you saw that
there's
1984.
no way there's an alternative.
You saw that 1984 spoof.
Well, you also saw the, like, what was it, 63-page legal document or something that they filed like hours afterwards. Like, it would be quite an impressive feat if this wasn't planned ahead of time.
So I'm not a fan of everything that Epic Games and by extension Tim Sweeney, or maybe Tim Sweeney and by extension Epic Games, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not a big fan of everything they do. This appears to be a legitimate pro-consumer move. I don't know why. I'm not going to guess at their motivation.
It's definitely
self-serving. Hold on. Do you want to make an apology video, Luke? Because that's how you make an apology video.
I'm not saying it's not going to help other people, or I'm not saying it, or at least could help other people. I know they're positioning it as that. They clearly have their own desires and goals from this situation.
But it's unclear exactly what they are. So on the one hand, they definitely want to pay less in platform processing fees to Apple and Google.
Seems like they would really like to have their own store. That seems to be quite a big focus. They would really like to have a like Play Store equivalent that is the Epic Games Store. That seems to be something that they've put quite a bit of pressure and quite a bit of focus on. I think that's the biggest one, to be honest. I think if Apple was like, okay, but we're gonna keep our 30% fee, but you can have your own independent store on iPhones, I think they would be super happy and would close everything down.
No way. I don't think they'd take that. Okay,
I think
wait.
so.
Do you think that's why Epic's going so much harder after Apple compared to Google? Like even just the wording, because obviously they got dropped from both the App Store and the Play Store. Like, to be clear, they are at odds with both Apple and Google right now, and yet they chose Apple's iconic 1984 commercial to parody. They call out Apple specifically in the blurb after it. I'm trying to remember exactly what they said. 1984 parody.
It feels like to me, it feels like to me that they didn't necessarily anticipate the Google response as much as they anticipated the Apple response.
But like they could have easily changed this wording. So in their 1984 parody, they've got, here, I'll just throw a display capture up here. Epic Games has defied the App Store monopoly. In retaliation, Apple is blocking Fortnite from 1 billion devices. Join the fight to stop 2020 from becoming 1984. Why not at least mention Google? Right? And here's my guess based on what you just said then, is because Google does actually allow alternate app stores.
Yeah, there was some issues there though. I'm not super on top of all the details here, and I want to bring up one really quick thing.
Yeah.
Someone in Twitch chat, Irish guy 67, said that according to Lewis Rossman, Apple will require all customer personal information, name, address, etc., to be collected and passed to Apple alongside the parts order.
Yep.
His example of an issue here is if you bought a secondhand Mac on Craigslist and needed a repair, then Apple would obtain all of your info, even though you're not the original buyer.
Right.
Interesting. Something to just add on top of that. Sorry, what were you going to say?
So I just want to get back to what is the point of taking on Apple here? Like, obviously, if they can get their App Store, commission cut, then that would be better than nothing. But it seems like if I was Tim Sweeney, and I actually haven't read the original email where he asked Tim Cook for special treatment. We also don't know anything about any conversations that might have taken place over the phone or in person about this. And we're talking, hundreds of millions of dollars on the line here, right? Like by the time Apple's taking 30% of Fortnite revenue on iOS, there's a lot of microtransactions there, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't Fortnite $1 billion business for Epic in 1 year? I can't remember the exact number, but let's say maybe not hundreds. Let's say tens of millions of dollars. It's worth having dinner, basically. So we don't know what's been said, but I have to assume that at some point Epic could have gone to Apple and said, okay, well, here's the how many pages was the document? 300 something?
I think 60 something.
60, whatever. Here's the legal document we put together. This is going to start an absolute storm, not just with us, but with every developer you work with who is tired of giving you 30% of the top line revenue associated with their app. You should just give us a discount and we can make this all go away. If I have to assume that conversation never took place, because if I'm Tim Cook, why wouldn't I just take that deal? Maybe because Tim Cook and maybe Apple and maybe Tim Cook just doesn't actually respect gaming or think that it matters. We've definitely seen that attitude from them over the decades. Apple has not had enough respect for gaming. They treat it like it's just like a casual thing you do on the toilet. They really do. So maybe part of it is that, Epic Games, excuse me. Apple's also an exceedingly arrogant company. And whether it's their policies towards not helping their consumers because whatever you're going to do, take your business elsewhere, or whether it's their decade-long hiatus they've been on for dealing with NVIDIA after that meltdown of GeForce chips in MacBooks way 100 years ago. They have shown that they are not willing to forgive and forget. So maybe that's exactly what happened. Maybe Tim Sweeney put a gun to Tim Cook's head And I don't have to say Tim every time, I guess. Maybe Sweeney put a gun to Cook's head, and you know, the cookster didn't like it, and you know, he went cookie on his ass or whatever. Like, I don't know how it went down. The point is, this just seems so unnecessary. And so it makes me question Epic's motives, especially the fact that they are so laser focused on Apple in all of this. Google takes the same 30% cut.
Yep. I think, and Google specifically takes it from gaming, to be clear, because that was something I was interested in, because I was like, they don't seem to have an issue with us, but yeah, it's gaming stuff specifically. The Fortnite specifically was not on the Play Store originally, and finding news about this is like kind of difficult now, because
they got
search
that
engines
solved.
are like, you mean the current one, right? I'm like, no, I mean last time. So they weren't on the Play Store originally. They were in their own situation, and Google pushed them to come onto the Play Store, mostly because there was like tons of issues with malware and stuff.
Right.
I don't remember how that exactly worked. I don't know if it was like fake Fortnite download links or something that was happening. I'm not certain, but there was a lot of issues that users were having with it not being on the Play Store. And Epic kind of fought for a while, but eventually agreed to put it on the Play Store. Now they've been kicked back off. But they have statements in their like counter to Apple that specifically talks about wanting to be able to have their own store. Someone in Twitch chat said like, you're dumb, blah, blah, blah. There would only be 3 games. I think they want to be like the gaming store for mobile phones. They're pushing the Epic Store for desktop. It has more games on it than just games made by Epic.
Or using Unreal Engine.
Or using Unreal Engine. Absolutely. It's wider than that. And I think that's what they're trying to do with mobile. So I think they're trying to push in legally.
Okay, so here we go. It's starting to materialize. So Epic is after, what did they take, a 12% cut on Epic Game Store?
Something like that.
I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15%. Can't remember. I want to say
that
12.
That often comes with exclusivity clauses, though.
So here we go. Maybe this is the plan. Maybe Epic wants to be an alternative, like gaming-centric store, and they see the 30% that Apple and Google take as an impossible burden to bear for game developers. Whereas if Apple and Google were willing to take just, 10%, then Epic could also take 10% or 12%, and they'd still be under what people were paying before, and they can position themselves as like a pro-developers, pro-consumer platform, while taking 10% of all gaming revenue effectively on mobile. Is that the end game here?
Yeah. The one thing I would add is I'm pretty sure Steam also takes 30%.
Yes, they do.
So the platform cut has been like kind of 30% across the board, which is nuts.
So Epic is going, I can be a disruptor, still make bucket loads and bucket loads of money on other people's work. Why not?
Yeah.
All I got to do is go to war with Apple.
Yeah.
Cliffy in YouTube chat posts, Fortnite is $1 billion business. Why would you care about 30% cut? Because 30% of $1 billion is $300 million. It must be nice to be as rich as Cliffy, where you don't care about $300 million.
Yeah, really. Wow.
Wow, Cliffy. What a baller. What a freaking baller. All right.
Oh my goodness. That's a great statement.
For ALSE, which I think is pronounced false, which is a great username for you, by the way, says YouTube takes 45%, YouTubers make millions. I'm not aware. Actually, I think YouTube does take 45% of AdSense, but they take less of things like SuperChats. As for YouTubers making millions, yes, some do, most don't. That's kind of like saying lottery ticket purchasers make millions. Yeah.
There's also a bit more like infrastructure difficulty involved in what YouTube's doing.
Yes, I have a ton of respect, especially having started up a video streaming platform. I mean, I have so much respect for what Google does with YouTube, honestly. I complain.
It's kind of insane.
I complain about it, but YouTube has changed video. I was going to say online video, but I checked myself because they have changed video, and it was not easy, and it continues to be not easy. Mad respect for Google and YouTube and what they do. And I pay my however many double digits of percentage gladly because they do so much more for me than the App Store does for an app developer, quite frankly. They provide a platform like Apple does. They process payment like Apple does. But they also bring an audience to you, which Apple does, but also its discoverability is not great.
Discoverability is also purchasable on that platform. You can buy ad space.
You can purchase it on YouTube too if you really want to. I mean,
but you can't buy sort of. Not in the same way. Like as far as I know, you can't buy the search term for Linus Tech Tips. Like if someone typed in Linus Tech Tips,
I see what you mean.
I don't think Kyle could make it so that Bitwit shows up over top of yours through a promotion thing.
If he could,
he
could, that would do it.
You'd go for gold. Someone also pointed out that the Twitch cut is 50-50, and it's like, yeah, but we're in the same situation.
Yeah, and live is so hard.
Live is so difficult, so expensive, and the vast majority of the people on the platform aren't paying for it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Actually, you know what? That's the biggest thing I forgot. I'm sorry, Luke. I totally screwed up that bit about why YouTube is so amazing and why they're so good to YouTubers. Because, yeah, I'm giving them 45% of my AdSense or whatever. That's because somebody...
That's like nothing.
It's like video distribution socialism, effectively, because somebody has to pay for that person who uploads a bunch of unlisted videos just to share with their family that nobody ever views and nobody ever sees an ad on, but that is definitely taking up bandwidth and taking up storage space on Google servers somewhere. Yeah, they're mining it for data, but let's not pretend that the margins on that are good enough to justify the amount of video they store.
There's even stuff that isn't even really like that too, like Bill Wirtz. Probably most of the people in the audience, the vast majority of the people in the audience have probably heard of this, even if you don't recognize the name. He did the history of Japan and history of the world videos. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I actually don't. I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
Wow. Okay. Well, history of the entire world, I guess, has 97 million views.
Okay.
And history of Japan has 59 million views. No ads.
Somebody has to subsidize that. That's me. And I'm okay with that.
That's over 150 million views. One of the videos is 20 minutes long. The other video is 9 minutes long. Sure, this is like crazy cash all around the whole freaking world, but there's no ads.
Yep.
That has to get paid for. That's money, dude.
You know what would be kind of interesting for next WAN show? Do you want to run the numbers? Like how much that video costs to serve to 96 million people? I'm curious. There's no way for us to know because of the amount of extensive caching that they have all around the world. Like we don't know what their infrastructure is like. But let's just do it in a basic way. Right? Because that's like, okay.
So like if you didn't have the super powerhouse that is. So if you tried to do this on your own. So if Bill Wirtz Bill Wirtz has billwirtz.com.
Yeah. Because that's
so Bill Wirtz tried to do billwirtz.com where you can watch videos. So if he tried to deliver it through this website, what would it cost him in order to have like good availability across the globe?
Yeah. Because that's what YouTube does. It's the democratization of video distribution. Like it's actually incredible. And so Google doesn't have to pay for every byte that gets transferred over the series of tubes or whatever because they've got caching points or whatever the case may be. But remember, they had to build that out, and there was an engineering cost associated with developing that technology. 15 years ago. When it was not as easy as it is to do now even. So I would love to know. I'd be super curious about like what that costs. Like how many LTT videos at 45% of the ad revenue YouTube has to serve in order to pay for all the people that watch that, right? Like it's awesome. It's awesome. I love YouTube. I also get real mad at them sometimes, but I genuinely do love YouTube and what they've done as a whole. They make mistakes. 100%. Like Luke and I joke sometimes that YouTube is Floatplane's best possible PR department because they just constantly like screw up. But other than that, I love them dearly. For that even, I love them dearly. It's like, well, sure, why not?
Fair.
Why don't we jump into our next topic here? Do you want to do the Xbox Series X deep dive architecture bit, or?
Sure, this is extremely verbose.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? Let's not get too deep into it. So what we do know is that the chip is 360.4 millimeters square with 15.3 billion transistors. So this is a big fat chip, 8 processing cores, and it looks like only 8 of the CUs, so these are the compute units, that's how AMD divvies up their GPUs, are disabled. That's generally speaking to improve yields, because that way if you have some of your GPUs that are sort of dead on arrival, you can still use that chip. We don't know how much higher the cost is going to be, but Microsoft lists the Xbox One as $, the One S as $plus. Oh, sorry. The One X as $plus, and the Series X as $++. The cost per wafer for TSMC's 7 nanometer lithography is substantially higher than at 12 nanometer. So even though you're getting to squeeze more chips on, if you're also packing more transistors into each Xbox, that means that your chip size is not necessarily smaller. So the cost per chip is actually higher. They provided additional details on their velocity architecture. So they basically said, so DRAM used to decrease by 30% per year for cost, but in the past 8.5 years, it's only been dropping at 5% per year. Flash memory, by contrast, has declined in price by 23% in each year over the same period. So they've been looking at how to use SSDs to make up for some of what DRAM used to do, which is actually kind of similar to what, Microsoft, to what Sony was talking about when Mark Cerny did that great talk about the architecture of the PS5. So basically, they're able to leverage flash memory for improved overall performance without the need to massively increase the amount of DRAM. So effectively, they're using much, much, much faster SSDs compared to hard drives to store data that they need quickly, but not quite as quickly. And Mark Cerny talked about on the very high performance SSD in the PlayStation 5 actually being able to stream data to the GPU in real time as the player is looking around a room. I don't know that that will actually work out in a real actual game, like with the way a player will whip around compared to, how you can control those sorts of things in a tech demo. But I'd be excited to see them try. It'd be great.
Yeah.
As far as ray tracing performance goes, we really don't know. Microsoft gives peak performance of 380 G per sec ray box calculations and 95 Gs per second of ray triangle calculations. A 2080 Ti is 11 gigarays per second, but NVIDIA doesn't give peak performance and Microsoft doesn't give typical performance, so we just don't know. And we still don't have concrete details on whether the Xbox Series X will have additional hardware related to machine learning. Now, machine learning upsampling was something that I was pretty skeptical about because I had seen the marketing for years and years and years about, okay, we're going to do this new anti-aliasing technique that's going to be less expensive. And by expensive, I don't mean price. I mean in terms of the hardware requirement. Okay, how do I explain this really, really quickly? Because I was in the middle of a different thought. When I talk about the cost of a feature, I mean how much die space it takes up compared to how much performance you could have gotten just by putting more GPU in there. So if you build in like some kind of specialized machine learning crap into your GPU, then what it better do is improve performance, like improve my FPS by 20% while only taking up 10% as much as you would have spent if you had to put 20% more GPU functional units in there. Does that make sense, Luke? Was that a good enough explanation of what I mean by expense? So I've seen it time and time again. Okay, here's an anti-aliasing technique. Okay, there's also the cost in terms of frame rate hit. Okay, it doesn't matter. The point is, I've seen them claim over and over again that we're going to have this feature that makes it so you don't actually have to run at as high a resolution. You're still going to get great image quality. Until DLSS 2.0, I didn't believe it. DLSS 2.0 looks really good. Like really good. Like while you're gaming, if you're not sitting there nitpicking, and even if you are sitting there nitpicking, it's shockingly convincing. Like NVIDIA has clearly done some crazy work on AI upsampling. We saw it on the latest generation Shield when you're watching 1080p content upscaled to 4K, and we're seeing it in their graphics cards. So we don't know if the Xbox Series X is going to have any hardware related to machine learning like the tensor cores that NVIDIA uses. But the slides do mention machine learning acceleration. We just don't know if they're just going to run on the CU clusters or whatever else. It'll have HDMI 2.1, so you could run 120Hz 4K, assuming you're running like older titles. I doubt there's going to be many games that actually run at 4K 120Hz unless they're doing some serious machine learning upsampling and frame interpolation or whatever. There's no way it's going to run natively at that. And it'll support H.264 and H.265 encoding. And oh wow, it'll even do 8K AVC, so you could potentially play 8K content back on the Xbox Series X. That's pretty cool. I actually don't know if PS5 does that, but I would assume so based on that they're running not the same hardware, but the same hardware.
It's gonna be interesting. I'm actually, like, as with every console launch, I'm really excited for these. But
me too. Like I love that they're getting more and more PC-like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think kind of especially this one, and because of that, we've had there's architecture deep dives every time essentially, but I don't think they've been this intense, and I don't think they've been this focused on like ways that they're optimizing like with this much specificity, and like it's really cool. They're really going like quite the PC route, which with the amount of information that they're releasing.
Well, the truth is, I mean, Moore's Law has hit us like a ton of bricks in the last 5 to 10 years. Like it really has. The hardware doesn't just get faster magically. Like Microsoft can't just sit there and expect their next game console in 5 years to be 3 times as fast if they just sit on their thumbs and do nothing. So
especially when Intel just drops the ball.
So I think that a lot of these deep dives we're getting are just like, obviously there's a marketing component to it, but I think a lot of the deep dives we're getting are just really great engineers being real super proud of the work that they've done to squeeze the most performance possible out of like really crappy improvements in hardware. Because for sure, AMD's come a long way, which is a big part of why these new Xbox and PlayStations are going to be faster than the last generation. But AMD's improvement has only brought them on par with where Intel was back when the PS4 launched and the Xbox One. Like, let's be realistic here, ladies and gentlemen. From a gaming standpoint, AMD just caught up. So yes, they're enjoying a big boost in CPU performance, but if they'd been able to afford Intel performance back in the day, they would have already had this performance. Not all of it. PCI Express 4.0, which is part of how the PlayStation 5 is getting its rip-roaring fast SSD. Well, that wasn't there yet. But when it comes to just like running, enemy AI or whatever, we were basically already there an awful long time ago.
Yeah.
So
we do have a counterpoint from Twitch chat here. Someone who doesn't agree. Cold Starcraft has specifically said that it does get better magically. Yeah, he is of the opinion that it does get better magically. So I don't know. I think we'd have to talk to the engineers over at AMD about that.
Look, dude, I don't want to argue with you. So
whatever magical technology tree they have, that they pull there.
So I won't. So you know what? That's right. Look, Richard, or should I say, why don't you just put that in your pipe and smoke it?
maybe that's why Intel has lost their way. Their like font of magic has just been depleted.
Yeah, they're not wearing enough dark eyeliner. All right. What else we got here to talk about? Actually, I think that's most of the big stuff I really wanted to hit today. Oh no, breaking news. RTX 3090 pictured.
Yes.
Okay, this comes after leaks were allegedly shown last week. Here, let's throw up my display capture here. RTX. Oh, wait, what? What the crap does this even mean? Intel CPU covering the GPU die to hide the information. Okay, so this is, allegedly an RTX 3090. Oh, come on. It's really gonna pop out like that? I mean, tech power up. Gosh darn it, you guys. So anyway, that is, wow, look at those 3 connectors. And like, we've seen 3 pads before, but not like 3 actual connectors on a reference board.
On a yeah.
That's weird. The RTX 3090 apparently has a notch right here in the middle of the PCI Express connector, so that's kind of
you can
that's
like
kind of trippy.
probably middle click those or right click view image or something.
All right, so source 1 is video cards. That's okay. We're gonna fire up video cards. So apparently the RTX 3090 will be a 3-slot graphics card. Which, remember on WAN Show when I got real confused about the reference cooler and I like couldn't figure out how it worked? That's part of it. Because
I got confused too.
From what I could tell, it didn't make any sense where it was going to be getting air from. So this makes, well, more sense. So the fan that's on the other side of what we're looking at here, okay? So that's this one, and it's going to be blowing out the back panel and then kind of out, I guess, this way. Well, I don't know. I'm still a little confused, actually, because this kind of looks like a divider that would actually block airflow. So, okay. And then this back part here, which presumably is connected with like heat pipes or something to the GPU area, is blowing, here we go, right through the card because it's got this like trippy, weird shaped PCB here. So there you go. Apparently that's a finished card. It's all black. It looks sexy as heck. I like it. I like it. It looks really cool.
It definitely looks very new and different. I'm really excited for those videos when they come out. Because this is gonna be a really, really cool card. Really cool card to see people dive through.
Can I dampen your enthusiasm a little bit here? Do you mind? Is that okay?
Sure.
Because the leaker already leaked pricing. Leaked pricing. So the leaker specifies pricing thusly, writes Anthony, who put this in the doc for us. RTX 3060, $400. Remember when $400 was a top tier card? Or like $450, $500 was top tier? RTX 3070, $600. RTX 3080, $800. And I would forgive you for thinking, well, RTX 3090, surely with all these $200 jumps in price, probably going to be $1,000. RTX 3090, $1,400. Oh boy, take that. Take that, middle income earners.
Especially if you want to play flight sim.
That's rough.
I think this would be the time where I try to evangelize some of the audience onto buying previous generation graphics cards.
Yeah, buying secondhand last gen chips. That ain't a bad idea.
It's great.
Ain't a bad idea at all. Honestly, I mean, we did the Ruthless Economy build earlier this week. I think that video went up, and the reality of it is you can't even get close. I think we put a 1070 in there, which conveniently will get you 30 FPS in Flight Simulator 2020 at 1080 high, or ultra, excuse me. We threw a 1070 in there because there just isn't a brand new card you can buy that even gets close to touching that. It's great. Thank you, Mining Craze, for ample opportunities to buy old cards for cheap.
Was that the video? I don't think so. No. That wasn't the video with the Sunless Con ad, right?
No, but that was hilarious. And you know what? We've got 16,000 live viewers right now, and I need you guys to help me out because I really feel like we let Sunless Con down, okay? Because it was not our top performing video of the week, and I think he only gained like 5,000 or 8,000 subscribers. So I need each and every one of you to go. I'm posting him in the chat. Just go click that subscribe button. We got to help push him over 1 million views. He actually bought a sponsor spot on our video to win his competition against, I don't even remember who it is, but Musty. Yeah. Musty. So I need you guys to help me out because We need to get Sunless Khan there. So Sunless Khan is right now 20,000 behind Musty. Okay? If everyone watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Floatplane clicks that button right now, okay?
Dude, we can musty flick his subscriber count to over 1 million. Let's do it.
We can do it. And if you can get a friend to do it too, look, I'm not asking you to subscribe to me. You can unsubscribe to Linus Tech Tips at the same time. Okay.
Whoa.
You know, you got a hard limit on how many channels you can be subscribed to or whatever, you know, however you feel about that. I'm willing to take one for the team here. We got to make this happen. We got to make it happen. Okay. So Sunless Khan is at 929 right now. I want to see that going up by the thousands right now while I'm refreshing this page, guys. And we're going to do some super chats. We're going to do some super chats while we wait, okay?
Some people in Twitch chat were asking for a link, so I posted it there.
Thank you. I'll post it on Floatplane.
But if you're looking for it through a search, it's Sunless, as in without the deadly laser in the sky, and then Khan, Khan. I have been watching these videos for an extremely long time. They're fantastic. I really like his more like Rocket League, almost like essay style content. I really like it when he like kind of baits.
He's up to 930. It's great. He's up to 930 now. Okay, keep it.
He has genuinely really cool content, even if you don't play Rocket League. I'll say that much.
Okay. All right. So keep it up, guys. Let's go through a few super chats. Jack says, "I'm hammered and I will watch the WAN show in full tomorrow. Thanks for all the content."
Hey, tomorrow, no longer hammered you. Subscribe to Sunless Khan.
Yeah, exactly. Musical Aviator says Flight Sim 2000 in VR would be good. Yeah, I'm sure it would be good, except that VR is a great way to tank your frame rate even more. So good luck with that.
As far as I know, that feature is coming, though.
Yeah. RD says, that face when you've been watching LTT for half your life. Oh, dear Lord. The scary part is you could be as old as 24, and that could still be true. Horrible. Zelanon says, gonna keep giving you my Google money for skipping your ads until you read my message. Oh, well, now you're gonna stop. Ah, dang it, why'd I read that? Luke says, can you do a video on replacing CPU sockets? My many broken socket boards on eBay, and it's super easy. The machine to replace them only costs $500. Been doing it for a year, and it's fun. You know what? I love it. What a spectacular idea. I'm gonna message the one and only A-Dog, the A-Bomb.
Oh, dude, you can have the most dramatic intro for that too, where you like sabotage a socket on a board.
Right?
And you just get that shock factor and then you fix it.
How much fun would that be? All right, let's do it. Unfunk says, you got some talented filmmakers on your staff. Would you ever let them make a passion project under the LMG banner? Well, it wasn't under the LMG banner, but David definitely did a total passion project review of The Last of Us 2. His channel is Surprise Gaming. Surprise is spelled with a Z and it has an exclamation mark at the end. Surprise Gaming, if you want to check that out. Yeah, we do. It's a real sensitive topic, right? Because how do you support people's personal development while also making sure that you're not opening, as a YouTuber, like a YouTube company, that's what we are, while not also opening yourself up to just creating this revolving door of people who come in, use you to catapult their own careers, and then basically, you know, springboard off away from you with why I left SourceFed or why I left Linus Media Group or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of examples of that.
So we do require people to meet certain requirements. I'm reusing. Oh, sorry, everyone in YouTube chat apparently asking for more links to Sunless Khan. There you go, guys. There you go, hitting you up with that. Go ahead. So we do require certain things like that it be non-competing. So we actually, except in certain cases, don't really allow tech videos because that's sort of directly competing with what we do. We're real cagey about YouTube, although we allow pretty much anyone who comes to me ahead of time to like Twitch stream because it's just not something we're interested in as a business. I just need to make sure there's not an obvious conflict of interest. You know, the last thing I want is to be someone's personal free rental shop for gear while they're just, you know, making their own channel and really promoting their own interests. You're either on the LMG team or you're not, as far as I'm concerned. And when you're on the LMG team, you get all the benefits of being on the LMG team. And if you're not, then you don't. So I just ask that people not compete with what we're doing, or if they are, they give me first right of refusal. So Taryn, for example, gave me first right of refusal on his ultimate 4-hour editing tutorial. And I said, thank you very much. I'm good on that one. I love it as a video concept. I think people are going to watch the crap out of it, and they did. But I don't see how it fits on the LTT channel. So you go ahead and do that. And in the case of David's video, he came to me, he said, like, look, this is like, it's tough because it's not tech, so it's definitely not related to LTT, but it is a review of what I effectively see as like a long form cinematic, but a game, not a movie. So it kind of conflicts with Carpool Critics in that sense. And so I said, thank you for bringing this to me. I really appreciate you seeing it that way, because that is how I see it as the business owner here. But no, I'm good on this one. You go ahead. And so, you know, it's all about communication and openness and understanding that we're all on the same team here. I don't want to stifle people's creativity, and I don't want to stifle their careers either. I just can't put myself in a position where I'm being used either. Zachary, could I possibly get a shout out for my birthday? I'm afraid that won't be possible, Zachary. If I were to say, happy birthday, Zachary, then it would open the floodgates for all kinds of other people to want birthday shout outs. So I'm afraid I can't do that. Sorry.
You're going to have to buy an ad spot like Sunless Khan.
We did give him a discount at least, if that helps at all. We did make him pay though, because like there's an opportunity cost there.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's check in.
You're losing money because you don't have a different ad.
Let's check in. We're at 931,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, guys. You're helping me out here. We're helping Sunless get more value for his money. What else we got here? Christopher asks, are you going to do a review of the Blackmagic Atom Mini Pro and utilizing that type of live streaming device? No, I can't say I plan to do that anytime soon. Voodoo Child, shout out to my wife, Alana, who probably isn't paying attention until she hears her name. Sup, Alana? Oh, wow, this is great. David McNelly says, I accidentally went to ilttstore.com, which is a store for toy trains. Okay.
I think we figured that out before.
I think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Okay, I can only do a couple more here. Isaac Smith says, is it possible to get the shirts in an inverted color scheme, like white? I love the shirts, want to support, not a big fan of black shirts for the summer. Totally get it. We want to do other colors. We've been working on an alternate supplier for shirts that we'd be able to do any color we want. It has been extraordinarily difficult to find anything that meets our quality standards, which are extremely, basically, I'm a picky motherfucker, is what it comes down to. And I haven't found it yet. And black is the only thing we can get reliably from American Apparel, which is really frustrating. So, yeah, we don't want to launch shirts and then just have them be out of stock for 4 months at a time. And we can only get black reliably. So that's where we're at. Deep Fried Smurf says, got a replacement water bottle the other day. Thanks so much. Didn't expect it at all. Hey, no problem. No problem. Christian says, I loved the Sunless Con ad segment you did. Which one? Which one? The one I did in the video or the one I did like 5 minutes ago?
Now. Yeah.
Robert, you missed everything. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, just two more. Ian Main says, I learned everything I know about computers and how to build my first computer from your videos. You changed me from an Xbox guy to a PC one. Thank you. You're very welcome. And Adrian says, can you make a video about the frequency of RAM? We have definitely done that. Try does RAM speed matter is a good keyword for that. And you'll find videos from us. Gamers Nexus has definitely done videos about that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. There was one really big donation. Someone donated $100 and they sent one message, and then they donated $50 and they sent a different message. And then it looks like they actually retracted both of them. So I didn't get a chance to address either of them. That's too bad, because at least one of them was kind of an interesting topic. Oh, well. And that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been a fantastic show, actually. Isn't it nice when there's like a ton of really interesting news to talk about? It makes our lives a lot easier. And we will see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. LTTstore.com.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait, what? Leafy got banned?
Really?
Apparently it happened like half an hour ago. Wait, what is this? What the? Hold on a second. What now?
Don't mess
What's
with
going on?
Pokemon, dude. Yeah, he's gone.
Leafy is banned. This looks like it happened in like the last hour. What? Is this really to do with the Pokemon drama?
It's gotta be, dude. It's gotta be. Because he's done like nothing in so long.
Content nuke Pokemon. Video unavailable. This YouTube account has been terminated.
Yeah, like he's
not
gone.
Suspended.
Big boom.
What? Wow. What's with these like feuds and stuff? Like how do people get like drawn into this stuff? Apparently here's a tweet from someone. I just went into the Pokemon Discord server and typed Leafy in the main chat and was insta-banned. LMFAO. I did a speed run of getting banned on the Pokemon Discord. Yeah, that's really, kind of annoying. You probably shouldn't do that. Wow. Huh. All right. Huh.
Check disc real quick.
Oh my goodness. Frickin' Keemstar has had Pokemon's mods on payroll for months. These are the banned words on her Discord. Okay. I'm not screen sharing that because I don't even know if it's true. And additionally, like there's some words in there that I don't need in my video. Yeah. Sorry, what are you messaging me with now? What is this? What is this stuff?
This is off topic, but I think would be a fun ending.
No way. WifeySauce has her own channel now? What is this? You gotta be kidding me. WifeySauce be streaming?
I am an OG subscriber of the WifeySauce channel. And I just happened to notice that WifeySauce was live. And I think you can't raid. I don't think you can raid on YouTube.
Yeah, can you do that? I don't think you can do that.
I don't think so. I don't think you can do like a Twitch style raid through the YouTube system. I don't think you can. So, verbal raid? Everyone check it out.
Yeah, all right. Let's end the show here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link to WifeySauce. Please, we got to hit her with something kind of random though. So if you could just hold on, give me 1 sec, guys. Don't head over there just yet, please. If you could just all act like you're really interested in where she got those oven mitts, that would be fantastic. I would like there to be so many compliments on her oven mitts. Don't tell her where you came from, please. Guys, you gotta be more subtle than this. Guys, they're already talking in the... Okay, guys, come on. Do I have to explain humor to you?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is not working.
You guys are killing me here. You guys are killing me. You're actually, my soul's dying. The entire chat is just full of LTT raid. You guys, I love you guys, but you can't follow instructions. All right.
We tried.
All right. We tried. Thanks for tuning into the show. See y'all later.
Keep going for the oven mitts thing. I don't think she's been reading the chat actively.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Sorry, Henry Bennett. Yes, we can do more videos in the server space, and we don't actually disclose how much our sponsor spots cost, like just publicly, because it's always changing. So then, you end up getting in trouble because people are like, "Oh, I thought it cost this much." It's like, yeah, well, our channel's twice the size as it used to be. What do you want from us? All right, see ya.
Bye.